Usually, in this series I don't include animes that have multiple seasons. It is for the new animes that have just started. The last video in this series was about Jujutsu Kaisen. But after seeing that it got 0 votes in the poll, I took it personally. Look how they massacred my boy. Joking aside, Golden Kamuy is a great story, no doubt. But I would not recommend to everyone. For example, if you are not a regular anime viewer, don't watch it. Everything will go over your head. Now let's talk about the story. Golden Kamuy is a historical manga, but the story takes place in recent times. The story starts after the end of the war between Japan and Russia. The main character, Sugimoto, was a soldier in that war. That's where he got his nickname, Immortal Sugimoto. You know what is the secret of not dying in war? You just don't die. That's what Sugimoto said. I really would like to hear a conversation between Sugimoto and Saitama about how they did get so powerful. It would be fascinating to hear their reasons. But the downside of this conversation is that it would not last long, just a couple of seconds. Anyway, Sugimoto's whole body is covered in scars, including his face. He was wounded many times. And that's why people started calling him immortal, because no matter what, this guy is not dying. There's a funny scene where he goes to a bathhouse and the owner thinks that he's a Yakuza, because he thought his scars are tattoos. I totally get the confusion. No human can take all those wounds and survive. Just in case you did not get it, Sugimoto is a legendary character, in more ways than one. It is one of those characters that immediately gets your attention, and that transcends the story is in. Right before the war did end, one of the soldiers did ask him to help his family. He has a young child and his wife has an eye disease, and if not treated she will go blind, and thus with him gone and the wife being blind and having to take care of a child will be very difficult. But the treatment is possible only in America, and all of this will cost a lot of money. And Sugimoto has no money, but he has heard a story about someone that got arrested, and this person has a huge amount of gold, but he's not telling where he has hidden the gold. It is said to be a huge amount of gold, a lot of people and powerful groups are after it. So now Sugimoto is after the gold as well, in order to be able to send that woman for treatment. But he's not doing this just to fulfill a dying wish of his friend, he's doing this for himself as well. Sugimoto says that the war has ended, but mentally you are still there, it does not go away. And what is worse for him is that there is nothing else to do, he has nothing. So that's one of the reasons he's trying to find the gold and be able to pay the treatment for that woman, because that is giving his life meaning. One of my favorite scenes in this story, if not a favorite, is this scene where he said to Ashripa that when he was a kid he used to go to a fruit tree and eat fruits with his friends, and they were always laughing. So now that the war has ended, he plans to go to that tree and eat fruit again, and maybe he will be happy and laughing as he did back then. Now, of course, this is stupid. He was not happy and laughing because he was hanging out next to that tree and or eating fruits, but because he was a kid and without a care in the world, not kill many enemies and watch your friends die. But this scene is a definition of hope and beyond hope. Sugimoto knows that what he is saying is not true, but what else can he do? What else does he have? And that's why this scene is so brilliant. That's the difference between us, the audience, and the writer. We know the phrase hope and beyond hope as well, and use it in daily life, but the writer is able to convert it into a visual storytelling, which is the highest form of storytelling. Based on what I said about the story so far, it sounds like the story is dark and depressive, right? Well, that's not the case. It is filled with funny scenes, and that's due to the characters being very interesting and unique. At the beginning of the story, when Sugimoto and Ashripa met, almost all of their scenes are comedy gold. They are very different from one another. Sugimoto is Japanese, while Ashripa is an Ainu. They are a small group of people that live in the mountains and have their own culture and tradition. And when these two cultures clash, it's hilarious. There are so many funny scenes. One of many things that I find funny about Ashripa is whenever she sees a creature, she immediately starts to drool and pulls out her little knife ready to attack. There was one time when Sugimoto indirectly got saved by a bear, and the bear died in the process and left behind a cub. So he took the cub to take care of him as a thank you to his mother. But he was hiding the cub from Ashripa because he knew that as soon as she saw it, she would start drooling. But he was worrying for nothing. She told him that we don't eat bears, since they are part of the religion. Now, I did mention earlier that one of the important things in this story is that huge amount of gold that Sugimoto is after. But it's not the only one. There is one group of people that want that gold to use for the cause of the Ainu, some want to use that gold to create a new state, and other groups for other reasons. So it is a very big deal. The story is very interesting, and there are multiple storylines that intertwine with each other. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.